Let's take a look at some homebrew, hacks, repros, and just some cool games. Esper Dreams is a Famicom game that came out years ago, and about 4 years ago, it was translated in English, and Eric decided to make a cart. Now, I want to go on the process of what he did to make this cart real fast. So to get this Famicom game to fit into an NES cart, he actually had to cut some in half and fit them as you see here. And he had to fit the original board inside with that adapter, the gyromite adapter, I believe. He also painted the games, and this is the final product here. The whole process put Eric in a bad mood, but he was still happy with the final product, but he pretty much said he was never going to do it again. Now on to Esper Dreams Part 2. So how this game plays is pretty much you're a person that enters into books and fixes dreams, I think, like that or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it, but what I do remember of it, it was really fun, actually. I think I actually took this on Jason's channel and talked about it a couple years ago, but unfortunately, I haven't played it since I've been busy, but this is definitely one I want to get back into. The action sequences are pretty much, battle sequences are pretty much action, as you can see here, so that's a good thing. So all in all, I've always felt that this game is probably one of those 8-bit games that's ahead of its time, so definitely check it out if you see it out there. After Eric made the game, I told him that maybe he should slow down and relax a little bit, and this is what he had to say to me.
Let me explain something to you, Reggie. I got shit to do. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing my shit. I gotta get it done. I got a limited time frame. I gotta make those PCBs so I can make that money, so I can be on top of the repro game. You got me, Reggie? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Here's the Game Gear version of Magic Knight Rayearth put on the Master System in English. This was sent to me by Michael from Games from the Grave. Bro, I appreciate you hooking me up with this, man. That was really kind of you. I'll leave a link in the description to Michael's channel, and you guys can check it out. But going back to Rayearth, I was a big fan of Rayearth back in the day. I thought this was a really good series, and really the OVA is really what got me into the series, and the OVA is what people like the least. But anyways, I got the game because of that. It seems like just a basic turn-based RPG. So it basically follows the story of the first anime series, and it goes from there. So definitely something I think people would like. I can't tell you too much about it, but it's something that I think might generate some interest if you're a big fan of the series. Here we have Splatterhouse Trilogy. This physical version was actually made by my buddy Jared, Mr. Wizards Reproduction. And what's cool about Jared, man, he went all out, man. He really goes beyond. He actually put the comic as the manual and the back insert of the game. So you're always seeing the comic that a lot of people haven't seen back in the day. Now the game, pretty much, I think it's based off the Splatterhouse, one of the endings in the games, in the official games that is. I'm not really sure about it, but I'm sure you guys don't care about any of that. You guys are ready to get into some Splatterhouse action. The game is a lot of fun. The only problem with it is I noticed that some of the levels seem a little bit too long. You know, in a beat-em-up game, you want to feel like you're progressing pretty fast. You know, you're moving around a little bit. This game, you feel like you're beating up a lot of enemies in one spot. But that's a good thing too, though. It depends on how you feel about it. But definitely something if you want. It's good to have on the Dreamcast if you're interested in Splatterhouse. Now here's Splatterhouse 2 and 3. Yes, Splatterhouse 2 and 3 were released officially, but this version right here, there's some edits to it. Part 3 is mainly the same, but Part 2, the mask is made more to look like the Jason mask, I would say. Whereas in the original version, it looks more like a skeleton, but they wanted to give it more of the original look in the first game, so that's what this version has to offer. Pretty much, like I said, besides that, everything is pretty much the same. But here's a funny thing I want to ask you guys personally. Out of all the Splatterhouse games, Part 3 is my favorite, and I think that's the least likely to be everybody's favorite. One of the reasons is because of the timer, but let me know what you guys think about that. Like, which one is your favorite Splatterhouse game? First, second, third, the remake, or hell, even the freaking trilogy one on Dreamcast? Let me know in the comments. Now here's good old Aleste 2. Now, some of you guys might have played the Aleste games, meaning Musha, and I think another Aleste game is Super Mega Force on Super Nintendo. But Aleste 2 originally came out on the Game Gear, and the reason why I wanted this version was because playing it on the Master System would just be better on the eyes. If you guys ever tried to play a game on the Game Gear, you guys know how those screens get, and they get bad pretty much where the games are like damn near unplayable. And believe me, you need to see everything on the Aleste screen because this game is so fast. It seems like it doesn't stop. It's fast-paced action, which is great. And I'm surprised the Game Gear actually held this title back in the day. Like they were able to put this title on the Game Gear. But this is the better way to play it, unless you get a mod for your Game Gear where you're able to play it on a television or you're able to get a new screen mod. But here is Aleste 2 for the Game Gear and this version, the Sega Master System. Here's Mega Man for the Sega Master System. Now this is the Game Gear version as well. And, you know, I got this one the same reason as I got the Aleste game. You know, it's hard to play certain games on the Game Gear screen. Those screens go out. So, I mean, over time, they just look horrible and they're unplayable. So playing this on the Master System was actually really fun. But I had to just let you guys know, the Game Gear and this Master System version of Mega Man, they are not good games, in my opinion. It just... They're just not polished, and if you ever seen the company US Gold's track record, you'll know what I'm talking about. Play Strider Returns. But if you're a hardcore Mega Man fan, I mean, hey, you might want to pick up the Master System version or even the Game Gear version. Depends on how much money you want to spend. Now here's Cave Story on the Sega Genesis. This is actually the first Cave Story game I've ever played. Jared actually decided to put this ROM on a cart, and from what I could tell, somebody told me that it's the full game, but it doesn't have all the endings, which is totally fine with me. But man, just amazing what you could do with certain games. So for those of you that have never heard of Cave Story is what you would call an adventure game, but most people call these type of games Metroidvania games, where you kind of backtrack on a map and go to different places depending on what items you get in the game. I haven't got that far in the game, but I was just pretty much blown away by this being what I've seen a PC game on the Genesis, which is just still blows my mind. But I haven't got that far in the game, so I can't really say much about it. But so far from what I'm seeing, I think this is a good port of it. And finally, we have AM2R, which stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake. Now, this physical version was made by Mr. Wizard's Reproductions, Jared. He even created a freaking manual here that explains some of the weapons in the game. And also, he put a soundtrack in here as well. So really outstanding. So I am pretty much getting on the Metroid bandwagon. I was actually playing Metroid Fusion, and I was halfway through with that game. And I didn't really want to start this game until I finished some of the other games. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start over and try to play them in order. And then it'll be the best way to do it. But as you can see, this remake right here, this was made by one person, one dude. And I believe he spent 6 years creating this game by himself. I could be wrong, but you guys let me know in the comments. Now, this is going to be, this is my opinion. This is the best Metroid 2 game ever, guys. I mean, I know Nintendo created an official one on the 3DS, but that gets all weird with certain button commands and everything. It's just, Nintendo just needs to learn, like, give the people what they want. If they want another Metroid game like the other ones, like Super Metroid, make another one, maybe with a couple more enhancements, but don't try to create something else, like something new that no one's, I don't know, man. That's just me. I just want more of the same, but I'm just getting into it. So I got 4 Metroid games to play officially, and hopefully, they'll live up to the hype. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed the content here. I was actually supposed to have this video done last year, but I just, oh my God, I was just in a funk and I just didn't feel like putting it together. But happy it's done now. I want to give a shout out to Eric Bishop, Mr. Wizards Reproductions, my buddy Jared, and also Michael, Games from the Grave. If you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, let me know in the comments. Radical Reggie, and I will see you guys later.